My man, Jeffrey Epstein.
What?
Okay, calm down. When I say my man, Jeffrey Epstein, I don't mean he my partner. I believe in the stuff he was doing. No, that is not what I mean when I say my man, Jeffrey Epstein. No, I actually mean that in a more sarcastic way. Jeffrey Epstein, the man with, I believe, dirt on some of everybody in some very high places, possibly for, let me take the possibly out of it. I believe that he had the dirt and that's how he got to where he is in life. Because to this day, I still don't know what the hell Jeffrey Epstein's profession was
What would you say you do here?
outside of being famous for being around famous people. With that said, apparently there is no list.
What the hell did you just say?
Apparently, talking about Epstein is passe.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
And sadly, one of the people whom I listen to and admire seem to be supporting this, what I deem a blatant and flagrant government cover up. And he even admits fighting himself and then contradicting himself to say that the government is right. Heartbreaking. But let's talk about it, shall we? So, one of the people who I normally listen to and I get information from is a guy named Clay Travis. He had a sports blog started way back in the day. I say way back in the day, some years ago, 5 to 7 years ago. It was called Outkick the Coverage. Follow me here. I'm going to hurry up and get to the point. It was mainly talking about sports, but like most people, they have opinions on other things. So he branched out into pop culture and politics and things of that like. Now, as a sports guy, solid. Listening to some of his advice got me some coin playing them parlays. You know what I mean? And for the most part, he's a very reasonable, logical individual, educated man. He's not just some sports guy. Hell, he's actually was a lawyer. Man passed the bar. So we know he's a man of intelligence. But in this, in this, I have to disagree with him. I'm gonna let you listen to an episode of a segment of his show that he put out there yesterday, which makes me talk to y'all today. And I'm gonna stop it at various points so I can comment on it and tell you where my problems are with this. Let's get into it.
Yesterday, I addressed Epstein in great detail. I want to build on what I said yesterday. Some of you may have seen me talking about it on the Clay and Buck show. There is nothing in the FBI or the Department of Justice's possession right now that allows anyone to be prosecuted for anything relating to Jeffrey Epstein.
What?
Yeah, he's right. Now it's not. I wonder why that is.
That is the truth. I understand that the fevered dreams of the internet, that there are lots of people out there that are engaged in believing this is not true. I am telling you, you can believe me or not believe me.
So I want, but you'll get into the why. Be patient, y'all. Be patient. Clay's a good dude. I just, on this one, he's way off base.
You can believe Attorney General Pam Bondi. You can believe FBI Director Kash Patel. You can believe Deputy Director Dan Bongino, or you cannot. Pam Bondi came out and said, all of the images that we have from Jeffrey Epstein of child porn were downloaded from the internet.
He believes that a lot of the American people believe that the child pornography Epstein had, or the evidence of the child pornography, was live sex acts recorded at the Epstein compound, at his little island paradise. But it wasn't that. It was, this don't make it any better, just standard kiddie porn from the internet.
I thought there must be some videos of him, some videos of the victims in the possession of the FBI. There are not.
Again, anymore.
Do I think that there's probably a good chance that at some point in time, all of that was destroyed and unrecoverable? Yes.
I believe that was the idea.
See, like I said, a reasonable man.
Not by the FBI, not by the Department of Justice. I think that this was the first investigation that took place in Florida.
But let's stop. He said not by the FBI and not by the Department of Justice.
Come on, man.
Then by who? Because I go for this one. For them to arrest him and get him prepared for trial the way they did and all those things, for all that to occur, they had to have some pretty significant evidence. The most current example is Diddy. They had damning witness testimony, and I'm not sure what they found on the hard drive in his home, but it was enough to make them go, let's lock his ass up. So the same thing here.
The one where Epstein got a sweetheart punishment deal. I think there was a desire and an intention to avoid creating a huge mountain surrounding Epstein.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Epstein created the huge mountain. Epstein's guest list, the company he kept, created the huge mountain. That was nothing more that a trial was going to do to build that up. The proximity he had to major players globally is what built that up.
And I just don't think that there is evidence that would allow anybody to be charged based on what has been publicly said and based on what I have heard.
That's suspicious.
Now, the way he did the I have heard, anyway, I don't want to do the whole conspiracy theory about what Clay may or may not know, but he's right. Currently, what he's saying is dead on right. Currently, there isn't any evidence. They have confirmed this. They being Pam Bondi, the AG, and the DOJ. There is nothing now.
I don't think it's true. Now
that's when we got the issue. When he goes, I don't think it's true. Now, does he mean that he doesn't think it's true that there has never been any evidence? Or does he think it's true that we're making a mountain out of a molehill?
Can be like, oh my goodness, Clay, you're owned by Israel. You're owned by China. You're owned by Russia. What did they pay me? I would like to know.
Now, in all those things, he never said this administration. He never said you're owned by Trump. Again, remember that very important thing I told you at the beginning. Clay is a lawyer. He knows exactly what not to say. He never once said you're owned by this administration. You're being puppeted by the Trump administration. And believe me, I don't believe he is. He'll get further into it, and I'm going to explain why I don't believe that he is owned by the Trump administration. I will tell you why I believe that and how I feel about it.
What did they pay me? I would like to know because I haven't gotten anything from any country ever. All that has ever happened to me from a country is they take my money, and that's the United States. They take basically 40% of everything that I make. So I wish a country would pay me instead of taking all my money. But I've never gotten any dollar, not from your mom either, or your grandma. But the evidence to me is that there's no one else to prosecute in the Epstein case based on the evidence that is in possession of the FBI and the Department of Justice. Let me just.
And he's dead right, because he's admitted, they've admitted, there's no evidence. There's nothing else left. And when there's no evidence, there's no one left to prosecute. Ghislaine Maxwell, I already got her. She's already been to trial, been to court, got her punishment, whatever. So again, everything that he is saying is factual.
I'm stating facts.
It is factual. They've admitted they have no evidence and things of that nature. It's true. He is on point.
Just be logical here with you for a moment.
Now here's where it gets fun. He wants to be logical, and this is where it gets good.
What would be the greatest thing for Dan Bongino, for Kash Patel, for Pam Bondi, and for Donald Trump? It would be to suddenly be able to prosecute Bill Clinton or Bill Gates or insert George Soros, whoever it is, for criminal behavior related to Jeffrey Epstein would be the greatest moment of their political careers. They would be heroes, the likes of which we have never seen before on the right in America.
He's right. That would be a huge score, a big boon for the Conservative Party. Did y'all note that he never ever once mentioned anybody from the right that could have been on Jeffrey Epstein's list?
That's weird.
Not even attempt to broach that. And you'll see how that comes into play as he talks on.
In order for them to be choosing based on objects in their possession not to prosecute anyone, you would have to believe that they are choosing, instead of being lionized by all of the people who are currently ripping them to shreds, that they are voluntarily choosing to be ripped to shreds in the public social media content instead of prosecuting pedophiles.
Exactly. He answered it himself. Yes, they would, because they know how the news cycle works. You think by next Monday we'll even give a damn? It's Thursday. You think about Monday, we'll give a damn about the Epstein list and who was and wasn't prosecuted or investigated?
No.
We wouldn't. And the reason they would take this hit, the reason that this administration would take that hit, is the same reason that no one fires nukes at anybody. It's the same reason Russia doesn't fire nukes at America, North Korea doesn't fire nukes at Japan, because it's a mutually assured destruction. That's why they're not going after anybody, because if you go after this, it's going to blow back on you. If I go after all these people on the left, well, those people on the left that you're going after are going to point to all the people on the right they know are also involved.
If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me.
So that's why they're not doing anything. They know the list. They see everybody who was potentially guilty and should be investigated for things that happened on Epstein's Island. They know this.
And you know this, man.
And they know the second we go after them, they're going to point their finger and involve us. So yes, I would rather take this hit. It's strategy. It's like chess. I'll take the loss of my knight so my king and queen can survive.
Exactly.
Does that seem likely to you? It seems improbable to me. This is what I try to do. Logically apply facts to situation. Now,
that is where my major problem comes up with Clay. He did all that, and he is in this moment, a very disingenuous person, because this is the same Clay that accurately called out the long-term strategy of the Democrat Party about the moves they're making to go, they'll do this, to do this, to do this. They hid it from the general public because they knew we couldn't follow that long-term game plan. Same thing is going on here. If Clay listened to what he just said, why would they not go after anybody? because they understood that if we go after them, they can expose us.
And that's it.
Do I think it is likely that Jeffrey Epstein was in some way an intelligence asset? Yes.
Don't know about all that. Don't care.
Of a foreign country, probably even more likely than the United States, although I think the United States would have been aware of those kind of things.
Please see my previous statement.
Do I think that Prince Andrew, I think it's Prince Andrew, right, was the only celebrity, the only famous rich guy to sleep with some of the women that were surrounding Epstein? No.
Let's stop right there. Let's just stop right there for a second.
Don't call these people women. These were girls. These were minors. These were teenage minors. Let's not do that. Let's not do the women making it seem. No, these were teenage minors. Let's stop that. Don't do that, man. Come on now. Let's don't do that.
I think there were other rich, famous guys that were engaged in behavior that may well have been criminal, but I don't think there's evidence of it. I think it's circumstantial. People say,
again, there's no evidence now.
what about the list? What about a lot of the list stuff is just like Jeffrey Epstein's Rolodex. I have 95% of the people that are prominent in sports and politics that I talk about, certainly on the Republican side. Almost everybody in sports that I talk about, I have them in my phone right now. I can talk to them. I can text with them.
And that is very true about the quote-unquote Epstein list. There are people that he was connected to that, of course, he had numbers on, that he had the phone number of. From my understanding, he hosted some very nice parties on his little private island. So I'm sure a lot of people who may not have known about this side of him or the secret behind the scenes going on at his island, they may have flown out for a nice shindig, knew the name Jeffrey Epstein. He was a friend of a friend of a friend. He's this politician's buddy, this entertainer's go-to guy. So you go out there and kick it. There is a large probability, high as I'll get out, that half the people there had no idea what was going on.
I had no clue.
I grant that. But that doesn't mean you dismissed everybody.
No. He's got a point.
Because there are also ways, like they found that, like the way that our government can find out how they can cross-check travel plans, how they can do things like that to see, wait a minute. Well, if you don't know what's going on, you sure took, an exorbitant amount of trips to this location. What's up with that? So to completely say, oh, the list is nonsense, it's just a Rolodex. Yeah, but you can cross-check that Rolodex to see where the suspicion lands.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of you have friends and family in your phones. The fact that you have the ability to contact somebody who may be in a prominent position doesn't mean that you're intimately friends with them or aware of everything that's going on.
Fully agreed.
A lot of people that are connected to Jeffrey Epstein are connected because of a paper trail. They may have flown on his jet. They may have gone to dinners with him. They may have gone and sat on benefits with him. I mean, this guy donated hundreds of millions of dollars to charity. He attended charity events everywhere. He was desperate to meet rich and famous people.
Y'all know who else did that? Mob bosses.
He's got you there, Dad.
The mafia. Oh, mafia was good for building you a beautiful cathedral. They donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to local churches, but they also would sit behind desks and have people killed. They did a lot of illegal things, but they still gave to their church and their community.
Do I think he engaged in forms of blackmail? Yes. There's evidence of this that have been written about with Bill Gates. I think all of those things are true.
Now, I hope y'all caught that. How can there be a man blackmailing people, but there not be a list? Y'all see what he literally just did? You know who you're going to blackmail. You keep a list of the people that you have in compromising positions.
That's right.
You apply leverage, you apply that pressure, to get what you want, whatever that may be. But you have them listed, whether it's written down, I don't know. I mean, with all the people he knew, I'm sure that he had to have some kind of list or something on a hard drive somewhere, because blackmail is nothing without the leverage. If you would like to hear the rest of that conversation, then follow us over on our Rumble channel. You can find us there under Free Mind Thinkers. And of course, as always, stand up, stand out, think differently.